And it's good news with Dick Baumbach. And how are you today, Mr. Baumbach?
I am doing good, Jeff, but I have some what's not good news, but I just think we should salute him. And he was one of my mentors. Herb Oscar Anderson passed away yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. He had a show on here.
Yes.
For a little while.
Yeah, and he was 88, and as you know, he was the morning mayor of New York. And Herb Oscar, looking down on us right now, would probably laugh at the first good news story.
I'm sure he would. All New York City subway stations now have free public Wi-Fi. Holy smokes. We don't even have public Wi-Fi in some of the places around here except for the rest areas.
Well, this started on New Year's Eve, and I was thinking when I got this story that Herb Oscar would have had a lot more people listening to him than he did on ABC. But Transit Wireless now has every single station in the New York subway system with Wi-Fi.
I think it's a sign of the times. I really do. I think it's coming our way, and it's going to become inevitable for Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi in public
Sure.
across the board. It's funny that you said that about that, because I remember a conversation we had with him about us being an online radio station, and what he said was something to the effect, well, I guess that's the next best thing, right?
He was right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. Look at what TNR is doing now and all that stuff.
We're at over 57,000 listeners now. It's a wonderful thing. Speaking of good news, let's talk about the next one you have, the next headlines. Heinz scores big by investing in employees instead of Super Bowl ad. This is hard to fathom.
Well, what Heinz had announced is that they are, instead of investing $5 million in a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl, they are giving all of their salaried employees the day off after the Super Bowl, because so many employees don't go to work, they just wiped out, etc. So Heinz said they just want to pay those people, and they'll have the day off, and there won't be any problem. And they started a petition to make the day after Super Bowl a national holiday, and on change.org.
That's what I heard. I got to ask you, what do you think about that?
What? Well, I wouldn't mind having the day off.
I wouldn't either, but it just seems like we have so many other reasons for holidays, yet we can't even we can't even get the audience to even consider it. But it seems like all of a sudden there's this big push on it. It feels like this might happen.
Well, the thing is, and I really think that we should have holidays for everybody. So I'm going to start at change.org. The day after the Super Bowl is Jeff Heiser Day.
And I'll do the day after as Dick Baumbach Day.
There you go, man.
There's places in the world that 34 hours is the work week.
Right.
And
like in France.
Yeah, and I believe Australia is similar. And here, it's like the more hours you work, the bigger the badge of whatever it is you get.
That's exactly right.
It's amazing. I can't imagine what it's like to work 90 hours a week anymore. And I know people that do it.
Yeah.
What do you think about working that many hours?
I'm going for the change.org.
The next one, in fact, in one of my shows, I talked a little bit about this place. Starbucks to offer parental leave for dads, too.
Yep, and this starts in October. So dads need to think now about getting the wives pregnant if you think
so
about it.
they can get their
Takes
time
9
off.
months. Right. But they are, and it's basically salaried employees, and they are increasing all of their benefits. They're going to give 12 weeks of unpaid leave, 8 weeks of paid leave to the women, and they just decided that this is the way to invest in the people who work for their company.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be, we're going to see this is going to be the year of companies investing in their people. I really do. There's a lot of things going on with employees and benefits. And, I mean, look what the new president is doing. Right. I mean, he's bringing jobs back.
Exactly.
And I think that's all inherent in what we're going to see is it's going to get good for the employees this year.
Well, and I think that people are at a point where they're saying, okay, I have an employee. How can I help them?
Right.
And, what can I do about it? So I'm not an employee, Jeff, but anything you do. To
But, it's true because a lot of people think that it's the customer that is the most important in your business. And the customer is important because they're the ones that buy your product. But without employees, you don't have a product.
Right. Absolutely correct.
And so you have to take care of your employees. And you can see it in the companies that take care of them. They have really good products. Look at Google.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they take care of their people.
Yeah.
Next one you have is after fire closes restaurant, owner pays staff to volunteer for others. Here's another employee one.
Exactly. And this happened in Durango, Colorado. El Moro Spirits and Tavern. Okay, let's stop by for a drink. There was a faulty water heater that burned up the back of the restaurant. And the owner, instead of saying, okay, people, sorry, forget it, he said, I'm paying you your full-time wage, but you have to volunteer to help various charities while we are getting ourselves back online.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
And the thing is, the volunteers, they volunteered everywhere, and they use their time at houses. They use their time at sales, humane societies, refugees, all over. And then when it was over and the restaurant came back, 36 of the 42 returned.
That's an amazing story. You don't hear that very often happening. Yeah. I mean, that's except for what Dolly Parton did with in Tennessee,
right,
where she was paying all of the families that lost their homes and what have you. But you don't hear businesses doing this.
No, and I think what you said earlier about the previous story, people that own the businesses, people that run them are starting to think a different way. They're
starting to realize who really matters in their business. Now, what do you have for us next week? I'm really kind of jazzed up about some of the stories that I've seen that you say are coming down the pike. So just tease us a little bit about next week.
Well, how are your teeth doing, Jeff? That's all we'll say right now.
That sounds great. So, in honor of Herb Oscar Anderson, do you recall how he used to sign off?
Well, he would hello again.
He'd say hello again,
and he also. I never realized this when I worked with him, but he was actually started as a singer, and he was raised in an orphanage.
Yeah, he used to sign off with a song, him singing. And I was going to ask you to sing, but I've heard you sing, so we'll just look forward to next week's show.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
My wife does very good singing, not me.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Baumbach, for being here today, bringing us the good news. And until next week, have a great day.
You too, Jeff. Take care.